Thank you, Madam. Honorable Chairperson, Madam, I rise today to strongly oppose the Transgender Persons Protection of Rights Amendment Bill 2026. I speak not only as a representative voice, but as a supporter to transgender, intersex, gender diverse, and queer persons across our country. Citizens whose dignity, rights, and identities are being debated in this House today. This bill does not protect, it excludes. It does not empower, it controls. And most importantly, it does not uphold the Constitution, it weakens it. Madam, let us recall the landmark judgment of the Supreme Court in National Legal Services Authority versus Union of India. In this historic case, the court affirmed a fundamental right, the right of every individual to determine their own gender identity. This was not just a legal ruling, Madam. It was a recognition of dignity, autonomy, and personhood. Following this, Parliament enacted the Transgender Persons Protection of Rights Act 2019, built on key principles: self-identification, simple administrative processes, no compulsory medical procedures, recognition of non-binary identities, and access to gender-affirming care. But this amendment bill dismantles these very principles. Madam, India is home to one of the largest transgender populations in the world. The 2011 census recorded nearly 4.9 lakh persons, though this is widely understood to be an undercount. Yet, as of March 2026, in India, only 35,000 applications have been filed for transgender certificates. This is just 7% of people as per census of 2011. Even today, many transgender persons face exclusion from education, employment, healthcare, and housing. They are pushed to the margins, not by choice, but by discrimination. Only 809 trans individuals stand as beneficiaries of the PM Awas Yojana, with 12 states and union territories having 0 beneficiaries. And yet, instead of addressing these real challenges, this bill focuses on restricting identity. The most alarming provision is the removal of the right to self-identification. Let me explain clearly what this change means in practice. Until now, transgender persons had the right to identify themselves. They could say who they are, and the state was bound to respect that identity. This bill is not bringing progress, it is taking rights away. This bill, I strongly oppose, and my party oppose this bill, because this is something that we don't stand for. It says that a person must now fit into limited categories such as Hijra or Kinnan, Aravani, Jogta, or prove their identity through biological criteria. But how does one become Hijra or Kinnan, madam? These are, isn't it also through a self-perceived identity? These are not merely biological labels, madam. They are deeply rooted in identity, lived experience, and social belonging. By restricting recognition to a few categories, this bill excludes many communities such as Kothi, Khwajasira, Tirunangai, Mangalamukhi, Tirunambi, Durani, Nupi Manbi, and Nupi Manma. This is not inclusion. This is exclusion by design. The bill also forces individuals to undergo medical processes to prove who they are. They must approach doctors, medical boards, and government officials for approval. This is not protection, madam. It is control. Gender identity is not something that can be certified by a medical test. It comes from within. Many transgender persons already face violence and rejection at home. Thus, forcing disclosure through official processes could expose them to even greater danger. Are we protecting them, madam, or are we putting them at risk, is my question. There is also the issue of criminalization. Now let's take a look at the criminal provisions this bill introduced. For example, in Clause 7, if a friend, a support group, or an NGO helps a transgender person escape abuse or migrate from their villages, they are to be punished with imprisonment for a term of no less than 6 months, which may extend for 2 years. Such vague provisions, madam, create fear, not safety. Even basic self-expression would be questioned. Most importantly, this bill takes away rights that were already recognized. People who had begun to live with dignity may now be pushed back to fear. This is not reform. This is a rollback. And this is precisely why this provision violates fundamental rights. Madam, the Supreme Court in Justice K.S. Puttaswamy versus Union of India held that privacy is a fundamental right under Article 21. Mandatory medical certification directly violates that right. The bill also introduces a narrow and arbitrary definition of transgender. Madam, India has long recognized transgender as an umbrella term, including trans men, trans women, non-binary persons, genderqueer individuals, and socio-cultural identities. This bill restricts that understanding and excludes many. Even more concerning is the conflation of intersex persons with transgender persons. These are distinct issues, and merging them ignores the right of both groups. Madam, this bill creates a dangerous legal gap. By narrowing the definition, it removes recognition and protection for many individuals. We are not just amending a law in this House, madam. We are erasing people from it.
Yes.
Madam, this House has a history of progressive leadership. Honorable member like Tiruchi Shiva showed that Parliament can lead with inclusion and dignity. We must live up to that legacy. I would also like to highlight that inclusive governance is already being practiced under the leadership of Chief Minister of West Bengal, Mamata Banerjee. Mamata established a Transgender Development Board in 2015. The state has taken steps to provide identity recognition, welfare access, and social security. But beyond policy, let us look at lived reality. India's first openly transgender college principal, who was made the principal of Krishnanagar Women's College, Nadia district, on 7th of June 2015 in West Bengal, Manobi Bandyopadhyay, once spoke of how she received recognition and dignity under Mamata Banerjee's leadership after years of denial despite legal documents. This, madam, is dignity in action. This shows us a different path, a path of inclusion, not restriction. When states are now moving forward, why should national law then move backward, madam? The current definition of transgender person is not vague. It emerged from years of legal and community effort. It emerged from the Expert Committee of Transgender Issues in 2013, the NALSA judgment in 2014, and years of community consultation. To dismiss it is to ignore a decade of progress. This bill replaces inclusion with exclusion, dignity with control, and rights with restrictions. Instead of restricting identity, we should focus on real issues: education, employment, healthcare, protection from violence, not policing identity. I urge this House and my honorable members to stand with the Constitution, reject this bill, refer it to a select committee, include the transgender community in the process, because no law about a community should be made without that particular community. So I feel. Madam, I conclude with the words of Swami Vivekananda. and I quote, "Prottek atta সম্ভাব্য ভাবে ঐশ্বরিক এই ঐশ্বর্য প্রকাশ করাই জীবনের লক্ষ্য If every soul is divine, then no law should deny a person the right to be who they are." Unquote. This is not just about a bill, madam. This is not just about one bill. This is about the kind of India we choose to be, an India that recognizes dignity, one that controls identity, an India that includes or one that excludes. Hence, let us choose dignity, let us choose equality, let us choose justice. হোক মানুষের জয়, হোক মানবিকতার জয়, হোক মনুষ্যত্বের জয়. Thank you, madam. Jai Hind.